Okay. How's that? We got sound now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I'm waiting. Okay. It's all good. We can hear you. Okay. Hi, everybody. Well, that was an interesting 3 minutes. Well, that's all I had to say. We'll see you next time. Goodbye for now. I can't repeat myself, can I? Oh my gosh, Downell, it's so much better, Bruce. Welcome all to the show. It's Bruce here and Auntie Jen from Rancho Mirage, California. Second time around. I got on a t-shirt here that is not my norm. This is from Felipe, the original restaurant in downtown Los Angeles. Picked this up on Saturday. Home of the French dip sandwich, an LA original since 1908. This restaurant's right across the street from Union Station. And I took a video while I was in line because this is a unique, absolute unique place. But I'm going to see if I can play this for you, and hopefully you can see it okay. Just let me hit the button here. There we go. And I'm standing in line here, and that's the counter where you order your food from. And the lineup is there's always a line at Felipe's. There had to have been 30 of us waiting here, and you can see the menu there on the back there with the old clock. And there's the sandwiches. They're known for beef dip, pork dip, lamb dip, pastrami, ham dip, turkey dip, and some added features with their mustard. I'll tell you, it's awful darn good. Those gals back there, they're called carvers. They produce your meal for you right on the spot. They produce a sandwich for you while you're waiting. And they've got desserts and everything else, but you come in there for the sandwich, and I'll tell you, it is mighty, mighty fine. See if I can show you. Oh, yes, here I am. Here I am enjoying a double dip roast beef on a French bun with this thing right here. You see this thing here? If I can, here, that thing right there. That is the hot mustard you dip on your meat there. Oh my God. Talk about unbelievable. From there, we went to Glendora, California, and we went to this place called the Donut Man. If you watch Huell Hauser, if you ever watched Huell Hauser here on PBS television, you know all about the Donut Man. They're famous for their strawberry stuffed donuts. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my word! Those strawberries, they're massive. They're huge. This is the apple stuffed donut right here. Oh yeah, it's quite all right. There was no disappointment. Jen and I first went all the way down to Los Angeles. It took about 2.5 hours from here. We hadn't driven down there for years, so it's nice to see the place again. Saturday traffic wasn't so bad. And then we drove back to Glendora, coming back to here. It's about 45 minutes out of downtown LA. And then we had a donut there, and then we brought a dozen donuts home. Oh my gosh. Well, actually, we bought a dozen donuts. Each ate one there and then brought the rest home. We have 3 donuts still left to finish. This is Monday. We've been working on it. I'll tell you that right now. Oh my God. So good. Glendora, California is a very popular community that happens to have some colleges in the area. So there are a lot of young students all the time through there. And that little donut shop is a one-off. It is famous. And they are busy at like 2 a.m. Students all over the place ordering up donuts. First thing in the morning, people going to work, they stop there and have a donut. Grab a donut on the way to work. There's no place to sit down. There's a parking lot in the back, but there's no drive-through. You have to get out of your car, go to the front, outside, order, and hand them your money or credit card, and off you go. It's old school. I mean, it's from the 60s, the 70s. It's old school, and it is a rocking place. When I was there this Saturday, there had to have been 5 people in line the whole time, waiting. Pretty amazing. Anyway, we first saw these 2 restaurants back in around 2002, 2003 for the first time. because we used to watch a show on PBS television when we lived here full time called Visiting with Huell Hauser on PBS. And this was a 30-minute little show where he would go to different places all over the place and talk to the owners, talk to the customers, and just let us know this is an institution. This restaurant, this one restaurant from 1908, the donut place since 65, and still going strong. And you gotta love it. So I remember these two particular spots. Anyway, welcome everybody to the program. Thank you for joining me. I have some trivia for you tonight. If you're into some trivia, I've got some cruise news for you, and we'll do trivia after that. And thank you for joining up and saying hi. Did you see my poll question today? I got a poll question going for you, asking you a skill testing question. If you want to take advantage of this, it's asking you, I want my next cruise to go to, and here are your choices: Alaska, Mediterranean, Caribbean, Australia. Where would you like your next cruise to go? 38% of you are saying my next cruise should be going to Alaska. Now it's 35%. 24% the Mediterranean, and 41% of you are thinking, I want to go to the Caribbean, Bruce. Nobody has picked Australia. Now, I should have maybe made that Asia, perhaps. I mean, obviously, Australia, that's kind of a generic. You have to kind of fly there, grab a ship from there, or take a cruise to there. So no one has answered that. But Alaska, Mediterranean, Caribbean, I figured that would get a lot of reaction. And I appreciate that. Let me know your thoughts. And if you can give us a thumbs up today, if you can find the thumbs up button, please nail it. Help us out. And we appreciate you for that too. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today from wherever you are on the planet. It's fantastic that you're here. Okay, let me go to some comments. The first comments I have are something about you couldn't hear me. Ken Correcca said hi before I even started, and Robert said hi, and then whatever floats your boat said hey, and then Kirk Brunson said hello, and then the complaints started. Robert and Corvette Man and Donnell, hey, hi, but I can't hear you. Ken, Super West, whatever meets your boat, floats your boat. Tom Kaufman, Super West, hey, no sound, Mrs. M. No sound, whatever, no sound. But then, I ain't this deaf, says FX. Okay, it worked. After 3 minutes, I figured it out. And we can hear you now. This is much better, says Donnell. Ken is saying hello. Robert saying yes, sound is on. Donnell, I thought it was just me who couldn't hear you. I'm number 5 tonight. Sylvia, number 14. Bruce and TWB family. Human Being is here. Hey, Uncle B, I can't wait for trivia tonight. This is going to be great. This is Bruce back to playing trivia. He used to play trivia when he first came on back in 1718. Human Being 7 is number 17 tonight. Donnell, hi Sylvia. Donnell, guess who voted for the Mediterranean? Laugh out loud. Right on, Donnell. Donnell, hi there from Sylvia. Robert, want to go back to Canada. Donnell, you missed a good trivia quiz last week from the sounds of it. Stephen Butler, number 18. Hello, everybody. Human Being. Last week trivia was so much fun. Stephen, I saw an article that said backpackers and campers spent more in the community than cruise passengers did. I guess it depends on where you're hanging out, I suppose. William Kavanaugh, hi Bruce, I love the Mediterranean. Right on, thank you everybody. Jen and I, our next cruise, it might be Australia, New Zealand. We might be doing a trip to grab the we'll grab the thing. Oh, my computer just says my AirPods are connected. Have you got sound on your AirPods? Because my computer just said they're connected. So I don't know if you're getting me or yourself, whatever you're doing. It's just an inside joke here between Jen and I. Anyway, we're thinking that we might head to Australia, and we might take a cruise from Australia over to New Zealand and tour around the South Island and end up in Auckland or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. We'll keep you all posted. Anyway, I got some news for you today, some cruise news. A little of this, a little of that, a few other little things. Thank you all for joining me. If you were here last week, I was mentioning a little bit of news about this ship right here, the old SS United States. Pretty rough shape in Philadelphia. She's been here now for a long, long time. He was the last real ocean liner ever built in the heyday of ocean liners. She set sail in 1950 or so, and she stopped sailing in the early 1960s or something like that. And the ship is being moved now. The ship is finally being moved. Unfortunately, her future is to be a reef, and she's going to be cleaned up a little bit I think in Mobile, Alabama. They're going to bring her down to Mobile, and they're going to take any hazardous chemicals and fuels and stuff off of the ship. They're probably going to take a lot of its paint off. I'm assuming. I don't know how you prep a ship to become a reef, but they're going to sink her so that she stands upright underneath the surface, apparently. And of course, in her heyday, this is what she looked like. That beautiful, beautiful look to her. She was fast, the fastest across the Atlantic. Here's some shots. I got some more shots for you that just kind of came out the last couple of days as the tow ships came in, tugboats and towboats came in, and she's now on her way to Mobile. It'll take about 2 weeks to get her down there. The ship has no engine. There's no way to steer the ship. She can only be pulled and tugged and moved on the side by tugboats. Here's another shot here. Some ships spraying water and honor her, send her on her way, saying goodbye to Philadelphia one last time. Because this has been her home for quite a number of years. A number of attempts have been made to, try to preserve her, turn her into a museum. They wanted to somehow make a shopping mall around the ship some way. All kinds of schemes, but nothing came of it. Unfortunately, there's another overhead shot from a helicopter or a drone, whichever, and she looks like an ocean liner, but close up, she's not looking good, and so she will, become an artificial reef, and divers will visit her, and I am certain there will be a lot of photos and videos made of the ship. Going forward now, it'll be about a year before the ship is ready to be sunk off the Florida coast. So stand by as more news comes out about the SSUS United States. I will update you, and we'll see what happens. That looks like the Titanic, Cecilia. William, it might sink before it gets there. Donnell, it does. A bit. All right, Sylvia, its fourth funnel was only for appearance. Human being, such a nice history. There you go. Anyway, that's what the ship is going to be. They don't make them like this anymore. Not even close. By the way, all the collectibles, all the dishes from the restaurants, all the furniture, the tables, the cutlery, that's all gone. It was all auctioned off decades ago, probably in the 60s and 70s. This ship was fairly well, let's say, stripped of any valuables. And they are, let's just say, out and about all over the place. So there's really nothing left on this ship but the skeleton you're looking at, really. I don't believe the engine is in there anymore. I don't think it is. It was built with a lot of asbestos as insulation. That was stripped. What's not discussed much is back in, I think, the 1980s or 90s, the ship was towed, I believe, to India, where it was taken to a ship yard of some kind, and it was stripped there of all of her asbestos and insulation. And so the ship could not stay where she was in the U.S. In the condition she was in with all the pollutants on it. So she had to be cleaned off. And so what's left here is very little of the original ship, really. And so it'll now become a reef. Anyway, there you go. Donnell, Titanic 2 is close to being launched, do you think? I hope it'll last longer than the original. I don't know. I know that that's been an on again, off again, on again, off again thing out of China, and I don't know what the latest news on that is. Now, let me show you some other news. Let me pop a photo up here. This here, you might recognize who that is. This is Captain McCue, Captain Kate McCue, actually. And she's been the captain of a couple of the celebrity cruise ships. She was the captain of the Celebrity Edge. And if I'm not mistaken, she then took over the captaincy of the third Edge ship, which is Beyond. Am I right or wrong? I'm not sure. Anyway, she's very popular. She's been with her cat posting on social media for quite a number of years. She has over 1 million followers on Instagram. I think she has a YouTube channel with at least 80 something thousand subscribers. And she would post videos about life on board and visiting various ports of call. And then she would get some holiday time, and she would do postings on where she was. And occasionally she would do some modeling work and artistic type photographs with the unique dresses and gowns and stuff. Very popular captain, really. A lot of people would book the ship that she was captain on specifically because she's sort of a celebrity. Anyway, a couple of sad notes. Number one, her cat that you see there passed away about a month or two ago, and broke everyone's heart that her cat passed away. And now we find out just in the last day or so, she's announced that she's leaving the cruise line. She's leaving Celebrity after 22 years of being an employee of the company, 12 years as a captain. And she's going to start another adventure. And she's talking about still sailing. She's still going to sail. We just don't know exactly what. And I was speculating just on my own that with the following she has on Instagram and probably other social media sites and the head start she has on YouTube, she could easily become a full-time poster, a social media person with advertising and sponsorships. If she were to become sort of a travel spokesperson or even a cruise ship news kind of person, she'd have a huge following. I mean, the credibility of the captain is huge. She could go to various cruise ships in the fleets and interview captains like that. She'd gain access to all kinds of them. She could do very well for herself if she ever wanted to become a cruise kind of information provider, or I don't know what her next plan is. But many weeks away at sea. Now that she's 47 years of age, I think she's reached that point where she wants to spend as much time with her husband as she can going forward, and not be away at sea and away from him for a long stretch of time. Makes sense to me. And congratulations to her. I wish her the best. And if I hear anything new about her, or if you do, let me know, and we'll compare notes. But I'm sure she will not be sitting in a rocking chair somewhere and be bored. Don't think that's going to happen at all. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, she'd give Emma a run for her money, says Donnell. Stephen Butler, 22 years at sea is a long time. 12 years as captain. She did well, says Stephen. Best wishes on the next phase of her life. Exactly. Other news, one last piece of news for you that I'll tell you about. I don't have any photos about this because really, how could I? But there was a story today that I read in one of the financial newspapers talking about how the Trump administration was talking about the possibility and the idea of charging Chinese flagged container ships a fee to come into U.S. ports. Now, some of these container ships, just to give you a bit of background, I mean, some of them are massive. They're incredibly large. And the biggest ships have 20,000 containers on board. That's equal to 20,000 trucks transport trucks on the highway with a trailer behind them, 45-foot trailers. Can you imagine a ship with 20,000 containers? The talk is that as much as $1 million tax could be charged, a port fee for the government. Basically what it is part of this trading tariff spat that's going on. And flagged ships made in other countries other than the United States, and by the way, there are no container ships really made in the United States, not really. They're all offshore. So the Trump administration is thinking about a per container charge or a flat fee per ship coming in to encourage shipbuilders and shippers using containers to build in America and create jobs for Americans. The problem is that the ships themselves are $200 to $300 million to build in China, where it's much cheaper to build a ship than in America, or in Singapore, or in Korea, or in other countries. But at $1 million a load, if you have 20,000 containers paying $1 million in total, you divide 20,000 into 1 million, and I think you come up with I don't know, what do you come up with? 100,000, it's $50 a container, $500 a container. It's manageable. If the container is full of caps, it'll have 100,000 caps. If it's full of T-shirts, you get 25,000 T-shirts in there, and 25,000 T-shirts for $500 added charge will just be absorbed into the business. But for the government of the United States, it's $1 million a ship, and you think of all the ports in the U.S. that could be collecting huge amounts of added money. No American is directly charged this money, but it is payable by the cruise line, the shipping line, which will then pass it on to the clients that use the service, and eventually the customer pays. But does that mean that this T-shirt becomes 50 cents more expensive, 25 cents more expensive, $1? Remains to be seen. Anyway, the reason I bring that up, the reason I bring up that topic here is there's rumors now that, well, that might mean that cruise ships not registered in the U.S. might get an added fee added to their costs of coming into a U.S. port. Now that changes things. Now William is saying it sounds like it's $50 a container if there's 20,000 containers on board a ship. So of course, if it's only 10,000 containers, then it's $100 a container. And if it's a smaller ship than that, it's like 5,000 containers. Then is it going to be $1 million, or is it going to be $500,000? That's $100 a container. I don't know. William, thank you for doing the math. What about a cruise ship? What are you going to do with Royal Caribbean and Norwegian and Carnival's? The companies that book the excursions are American companies, essentially, but the ships are registered offshore. They don't have Americans working on the ships necessarily. Generally, the people on board these cruise ships are international people that are paid a lot less money than an American would be paid. And, you guys keep talking about it. I've talked about it. What a deal cruising has been over the years when compared to taking a holiday in Florida or in California, or even sometimes comparing to third world countries, or let's say all-inclusive resort holidays in Cuba, in Barbados, Jamaica, Mexico, and so on and so on and so on. So now, will the American government want to charge, a cruise line $1 million to bring in the ship? Well, William, thank you, sir. You're reading my mind. 5,000 people on a cruise ship means it's $200 per person added charge. Would you be thinking twice about taking a cruise if it cost you $200 more a person to take a 7-day cruise? Yeah, make you wonder, doesn't it? Anyway, the story goes that the cruise ship business, the passenger ship market, is protected from the president just signing an executive order. Can't go through signing a document. It has to go through Congress, the Senate, and the White House. It has to pass as a separate bill. And I can tell you that the number of lobbyists in Washington on behalf of the transportation business and tourism business is extensive. I would say that it would be a very hard sell for the president to attempt to enact a tax on these ships, because most Americans will not fall for that. They won't go, no. This is a tax on us to take a ship. There are no American ocean liners, as witnessed just a few minutes ago by the SS United States. There are no American ocean liners that ply the international waters and can take you to the Caribbean or through the Panama Canal or to Alaska. And in reality, the United States government collects a lot of money in taxes from Americans and Europeans and anyone else coming onto a cruise ship out of Miami or anywhere else, because there are already port charges and fees charged, and there are already taxes collected on the price of cruises and built into it and all that. But hey, money is tight. Governments need money. Double taxation, says William. Sylvia, William is a mathematician. Bing, bing, laughing out loud. There you go. Thank you, William, for helping out. Anyway, there you have it. Those are some of the stories I'm following right now on the cruise business. Some of the shares of the cruise lines were under pressure lately, thinking about the possibility that what if they were to be charged a tax fee of some kind, or they were made to pay some sort of federal taxes that would impede their profitability. Well, that would hurt the shareholders, of which many are Americans. Oh, wow, look at that. A lot of pension funds own stock in Carnival and Royal Caribbean and Norwegian. And so there you go. Again, the world goes around and around and around. Where it'll end, I don't know. But there you have it. I thought I'd share those little tidbits of info with you today. And I welcome you to the program. Thanks again. Let's take a look at this poll question. And how are we doing on the thumbs up meter today? We have 22 thumbs ups now. Thank you, everybody. Keep them coming in. And we got people voting here on where will be your next cruise. Where are you going on your next cruise? I want my next cruise to go to Alaska. 39% are saying Alaska. 39% are saying the Caribbean. And 22% of you are thinking the Mediterranean. So those are the three spots with answers. No one is answering Australia. But we've got now, we got a shift in the poll results. Now it's 42% for the Caribbean, 37% Alaska, and 21% Mediterranean. So those votes keep coming. By all means, answer if you can, and hit the thumbs up button if you're able to, and give our show a little momentum tonight. All right, are you ready for some trivia? I put some trivia questions together for you today, and I hope you like them. I hope you enjoy them. Let's see if we can make this happen here. Let me grab my big ass iPad right here, because I got the questions right here on board, ready to go. Let's see if we can make this work right here, right now. There we go. Okay, here is question number 1. Here are the rules. If you know an answer to my question, just type in the answer. But when you do answer the question, you can only give me one answer at a time. So if you are thinking, oh, I know 5 possible answers to this question, don't send me 5 in one go, only one at a time. So everyone has a chance to kind of play the game here. All right, no cheating on Google either. Okay. Philip is saying that look at 10K SEC reports and minimal U.S. taxes. Port charges go to the owner of ports. And I hear you there. I have a feeling that this might be an attempt at the federal level to put in some sort of a federal something tax. They'll make up a name for it. I don't know how they'll do it. Stephen, the cruise passenger will be who pays the fees in the end. Exactly. If they don't want to pay it, airlines, hotels, cabs, food, and other vendors will all share in the lost business. Is this winning? Exactly. If you see Florida and Fort Lauderdale lose 20% of their volume of traffic, you will witness bankruptcies in those areas, onshore businesses going under because they are going to be hit badly. Hotels, Ubers, cabs, rent-a-car companies, restaurants, the money that is spent by passengers who come in days before or stay days after in some of these areas like Orlando, Galveston, Los Angeles, Long Beach, Seattle in the summertime, New York, Boston, not winning. Anyway, hi from Jacksonville, says Roger Holcomb. Hey, Roger, how you doing, buddy? Welcome, my friend. Thank you for saying hi and welcome to the show tonight. Are you ready for some trivia? Here we go. Your first trivia question of the night is, can you name the countries of the world that have the most McDonald's restaurants? What countries of the world have the most McDonald's restaurants? I'm looking for 27 countries, and we all know the first one. But beyond that, what do we got? Sylvia is thinking, well, I'm going to go right for China, Bruce. What about that? Yes, China is the third highest. China, 1,940 McDonald's. And Kirk and Donnell are coming in. Well, USA, man. Yes, of course. 14,157 McDonald's. Human has to China as well. Stephen is thinking, what about Canada? Yeah, number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5, Canada, 1,417 McDonald's. Remember, Canada is only 1/10 the size of the United States with a population. So if you multiply Canada times 10 to equal the U.S. population, we have just as many McDonald's per capita as in the U.S. 14,000 in America, 1,400 in Canada. There you go. We're just as addicted to this stuff as you are. Beijing, no, that's a city. I need countries. Robert got the USA. Roger's thinking Japan. That is number 2. Japan is number 2, 3,279 McDonald's. Japan is number 2 in the world for McDonald's. Sylvia, what about the United Kingdom, Bruce? The UK, 1,208. Looks like number 7 or so. Donnell's got it as well. William, England, yeah. Patty is in the house. Hi, Patty. USA, we got it. Donnell, Canada, we got it. Sylvia, Turkey. What about a country like Turkey, Bruce? Do they make the list?
No turkey burgers.
No turkey burgers, but 206 locations. Yeah, they are in there. 27, 26, 27, 23rd. The 23rd place. Ken was thinking Canada. Larry Blake was thinking Japan. Hi, Larry. Hi there, Ken. Roger, Mexico, Bruce. Right next door to America. Yep, 402 locations for Mexico. Looks like they're about, something like 12th, 13th place. Donnell thought Japan too. Craig, Bruce, many presidents have tried to add these taxes, never amounted to anything, just so you know. Thank you for that info. Appreciate that. Kirk Brunson, what about France? Because don't the people in France have a different name for a Big Mac or a quarter pounder? What is that in the movie? You remember the movie with John Travolta, that the girl that was dancing with John Travolta in the bar? Pulp Fiction. What was it? Something Royale. John Travolta was talking to his co-star, the actor, in the car, and they were talking about the Something Royale burger. France, 1,258 McDonald's, right behind Canada. Yep. Philip is thinking the UK, and Ken Correcco, he's thinking Australia. What about Australia, Bruce? 896 McDonald's in Australia, very popular. Donnell, Germany. How about Germany? Oh, yeah, more than Canada, 1,440, about 13 more than Canada has. William is thinking Spain. España. What about España? 439 locations for Spain. Yes, indeed. Sylvia, Jamaica? Does Jamaica even make the list? Do they have enough? No, Jamaica didn't make the top 27. What about Russia? Well, let's take a look at Russia. Now, this quiz is older because Russia no longer has official McDonald's, but they used to have 356 before the boycotts. So there you go. Human being is thinking, what about India? Do they have McDonald's in India? 300 locations in India. Yes, they do. Germany has been guessed. Thank you, Ken. Sylvia, Greece. What about Greece? There's another country. Does it have a bunch of McDonald's? Not in the top 27. Donnell, Ireland? What about Ireland? Ireland is not in the top 27. We've done India. Royale with cheese. Thank you, Stephen Butler. That's what they called it, a Royale with cheese. Larry Blake, what about Brazil? Does that count? Oh, yeah, 731 in Brazil. Top 10 country for McDonald's. Kirk is going Royale with cheese, Bruce. That's what it was. Susan R., what about Argentina? Do they have McDonald's in Argentina? 209, as a matter of fact. 20th place. Ken Correca, the Philippines. What about the Philippines? Yep, 376 locations in the Philippines. And Sylvia had Argentina as well. Paul Jordan was thinking Australia. We've done it. Australia, 896, one of the big ones. New Zealand, Donnell is thinking, what about New Zealand? We don't have them in the top 27, but I'm sure that they're in the top 50. What about Indonesia? Ken is thinking Indonesia. What about that country, Bruce? Indonesia. Nope, I do not see Indonesia in the top 27. South Korea. This is coming from Ken. South Korea. Yep, 292 locations. Looks like about 19th place, 18th place. Donnell, Italy. How about Italia, Bruce? Yep, 456. Yep, 11th, 12th place. South Africa, Sylvia's wondering. What about South Africa? 177 locations. Number 26 on the list. There's only one country behind South Africa. I'm still looking for about 5 or 6 more countries. Ireland, we've tried. Ghana? Is Ghana in the mix? No. Saudi Arabia? Nope, not showing. China, we've done. China, number 3 at 1940. Let's see here. Taiwan. Larry, you nailed it. Yep, Taiwan looks like Taiwan is about 12th or so. Let's go forward. Taiwan. Thailand is, yes, 180 countries, number 25. And what about Mozambique? Nope. I still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 6 more countries. Switzerland? What about Switzerland, Bruce? No. In Europe, I need 1, 2, 3, 4 in Europe, 1 in Asia, and 1 in the Middle East. That's what I'm looking for. Donnell, Sweden. Yep, 227 in Sweden. They're around number 21 or so. I'm looking for a country with 301, a country with 245, another one with 231, 184, and 172. Vietnam. Susan wondering about Vietnam. Not in the top 27 as of this list. What about Mexico? We've done Mexico already, 402. Kuwait, not on the list, but that's a good guess. What about Hungary? Nope. India, we've done. Still looking for 1, 2, 3 European countries, 1 Asia, and 1 Middle East. Okay. Iran, nope. Poland, yes. 301 in Poland. Looks like we've got that's about 15th place. 301 McDonald's in Poland. Not Hungary. Singapore, no. Holland, that would be the Netherlands. Yes, 231 in Holland or the Netherlands. Romania, no. Netherlands, there we go. And Austria, yes, 184 in Austria. That would be 27, 26, 20, 24th place for Australia. Austria. We only need two more. One in Asia, one in the Middle East, and we've got them all. Switzerland, no. Egypt, no, not Egypt. One in Asia and one in the Middle East. And one has the Asian country, 245 locations, and the Middle East has 172. How about Aruba? No. What about Israel? Yes, Israel is number 27 with 172 McDonald's, leaving us now only an Asian country. So Lebanon is out, UAE is out, Dubai is out, UDA is out, Curacao is out. We're looking for a country in Asia. We've tried Singapore, we've tried Thailand, we've tried Indonesia, we've done Japan, we've done Vietnam, we've done South Korea, we've done a whole bunch of countries. And I misspelled Israel, sorry, it's okay. Looking for a country that the capital of which is known as, how do I say it? I don't have to say it. Someone has guessed it. It's been done. Human being. Malaysia is the country. Yes, 245. I was going to talk about Kuala Lumpur, and I was thinking, what can I say about Kuala Lumpur? And I was going to say the tallest buildings in the world at one time, Kuala Lumpur. But we're done. Burma and Papua New Guinea. We're done on the first quiz. Well done, everybody. That was an excellent job. All right, let's move on to the next quiz of the day. If you're up for it, let's see what we can do here about our next quiz. Okay, tell me if you dare. Can you tell me the airlines of the world that fly the most passengers? What airlines? I'm looking for 16 airlines that fly the most passengers. Now, this is as of 2010, so this is 15 years old. And there might be one or two airlines that have since merged with each other. We'll try to figure that out going into it, but let me know. Sylvia is thinking Delta, and so is Stephen. Delta Airlines. Those guys are number one in 2010. 162 million passengers, Delta Airlines. Donnell is thinking KLM, Bruce. That is Air France KLM. They've merged together, 70,750,000 passengers. Kirk Brunson, what about American Airlines? Number 4, 105 million passengers. Stephen Butler, British Airways. That would be Iberia, International Airlines, and British Airways all in one, 57 million passengers. Human being is thinking United. That's the number 2 airline, 145.5 million. Susan had a 2. Donnell had British Airways. TWA doesn't exist anymore. Sorry to say. American Airlines, we got Air Canada, not on the list. Qantas, number 16, just made the list, 43.3 million passengers. I don't know any European airlines at all, says Sylvia. I can't think of any. I still need another American airline, and then I need international airlines. We have guests here, Emirates Airlines. As of 2010, Emirates did not make the list, believe it or not. It's one of the nicer airlines in the world. What about Singapore Air? Nope, they didn't make the list either. Ryanair, yes, they did make the list. 72 million. They came in. Looks like they came in about 7th place. Southwest Airlines, yes, in the USA, number 3 in the world, 131 million passengers. Southwest. Spirit, no. Qatar Airlines, Qatar, nope, they didn't make it. Air France is KLM, so they're been done. Air New Zealand, not making the cut either. I'm looking for 1 European airline, 2 European airlines. Then I'm looking for Asia Airlines. So 2 from Europe and the rest from Asia. LOT does not make the list either. The fifth largest airline in the world is from Europe. The country just had an election the other day, and a human being has it as Lufthansa. Yes, Lufthansa with 90 million passengers. Swiss Air? No. EasyJet? Yes. EasyJet, 49,700,000. They're in the top 12 or so. Nippon Airways, that is an Asia line, Japan. Yep, 46.4 million. About 14th place, 13th place. JAL, Japan Airlines, yes. 15th place, 44.6 million passengers. JAL. I'm going to rule out one of these that's in here called US Airways because they were merged with, I think it was American, wasn't it? Was the US Air and American? Did they become one? I can't remember. Paul was thinking Ryanair. We've got them already. I only need 3 or 4 airlines, all out of Asia, all out of the same country in Asia. So there's a big hint for you. One country has all 3 of these airlines flying in it, and out of it, SAS, no, not SAS. One country in Asia with 3 airlines in there. It's not Japan. We've already done Japan. What country is left in Asia that would have 3 airlines? Yes, sir. US Air merged with American Airlines. So if you take a US Airlines at 59 million and add it to American at 105 million, you got the number 1 airline in the world, theoretically. Iberia, that's already been done with British Airways. Cathay Pacific, nope, they're out of Hong Kong. And that's not one of them, but Dubai Air, no. Air India, no. Looking for one country in Asia, that would be the one. China Air, Air China Limited, yes, 46 million. There are 2 more Chinese airlines I'm looking for. Taiwan Airlines, Philippine Airlines, JetBlue, Air China. We have Air China. There's 2 other China airlines I'm looking for. Do you know what they're called? Any clue at all? Think directions. Think directions for the name of these airlines. There's only 4 directions to think about. So China Eastern, yes, China Eastern is number 9 at 64 million, leaving us one more China airline. China Southern, yes, 76 million for China Southern Airlines. That's your last one. Panda Air and Northeast China, North by Northwest, Dragon something. You're all done. You've done well, kids. You've done well. We got the airlines figured out. Let's move on to the next quiz of the day. Let's see how you do on this one today. Would you mind telling me the world's busiest cruise ports, but not the world's busiest cruise ports where we begin and end our cruises? I don't want those. I want the world's busiest airports where we go to visit. Okay, so Miami is out. Fort Lauderdale is out. Okay, those don't count. I know there's a list of the world's busiest cruise ports to begin and end a cruise, like Southampton. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for cruise ports that we go to and get off the ship and walk around and get back on the ship. Craig, Nassau in the Bahamas. Yes, the number 4 in the world at 1.4 million. This quiz has got to be 15 years old. So you have to, be a little relaxed. Australia, it's a country. I need specific ports. So Stephen Butler's Cozumel, number 1, 2.5 million in probably in 2010. Thank you for that. Same with Paul Jordan. He got Cozumel. Grand Cayman, the Cayman Islands. Yes, number 3, 1.5 million. And I know it's much higher than that. Cozumel is in there as well. Again, so is Nassau. We've got the top 4. 3 of the top 4 are in. We need some more ports. Italy, no, I need specific cities, not countries. Specific ports. So think ports in countries. If you've taken any kind of a cruise in the Caribbean, where did you go? If you've taken a cruise in the Mediterranean, where did you stop? Think about it that way. Honduras, that won't do us any good. I don't think so. Let me just double check on that one. No, that's not going to help us. Venice in Italy. What about Venice? There was a time that in Italy, cruise ships would go there, but it doesn't rank. Reykjavik in Iceland, Bruce. What about Reykjavik? Would it have counted? Nope, not in that time. Cabo San Lucas. Cabo San Lucas is number 12. Indeed, 819,000. Well done, cruiser. Sylvia St. Thomas. Yep, number 2. Virgin Islands, 1.8 million. Absolutely well done there, Sylvia. Stephen Butler, Barcelona. Well, that's a beginning and ending port, and it doesn't count, although people do visit it. St. Thomas we've done. How about St. Martin, Bruce? I mean, it's got to be there. Number 6, 1.3 million. Absolutely. Roatan, Honduras. Yes. I don't show it on the list, but I'm sure it's in the top 25. How about Rome, Italy? In Rome. We don't have it listed, or the actual port itself isn't listed either, which is the one I can't pronounce. The Civitatinelia, I can't pronounce. Juneau, Alaska, Bruce. What about Juneau? Yep, number 8. Number 8 most popular cruise port, 1 million passengers a year as of 15 or so years ago. Nice in France, Bruce. Nice in France. It does not show. There's that Cava Civitavecchia. It doesn't, it doesn't work. Vancouver. No, Vancouver is kind of a beginning-ending location for most cruisers. Not many ships come to visit Vancouver. They port there and dump off and pick up new passengers. But Patty Smotherin, you nailed it. Ketchikan, Alaska. Very good. Number 9, Ketchikan, Alaska. 942,000 makes the list. Cruiser, Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta. It should be here on this list. I don't see it. And Puerto Vallarta is definitely a popular spot, but not on this particular list this time. Athens, Greece, Bruce. Athens in Greece. I'm not showing it, but there are a couple of ports in Greece showing on this list. What about Valletta in Malta? Malta, Valletta. Not showing. Let's see. What else? We've got, let's double check. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 American ports still to get. I've got a couple of Italian ports, 2 in Greece, just to give you some hints. Victoria, nope, not working. So we can't do Victoria. Belfast, no. Palma de Mallorca, not showing on this one, but Santorini. Paul Jordan, you nailed it. That's one of them. Number 13, Santorini, 788,000. Skagway in Alaska. Yep, number 14 on the list, 765,000. Le Havre, is that? I think Ken is thinking, he's guessing Le Havre in France. I'm not showing it, but I know where you're coming from. Santorini, we've done. Grand Turk, no can do. Paris in Greece. Is that it? No. I need one more for Greece, and it's not that one. San Juan, Puerto Rico. Nope. I do not have San Juan on this list. Oh, I do. I apologize. It's here, number 5. I almost missed it. 1.3 million. Well done, Craig. San Juan is okay. Naples, Bruce. Yes, number 7. 1.3 million. I've been there with Jen Jr. Coco Cay. This is too far back on this list. Half Moon Cay, too far back. Hamilton, Bermuda. No. Corfu. Nope. Not showing Corfu. I need 1 Italian. I need 1 Greek. I need a Jamaica spot. I need a Tunisia location. I need a Barbados location. I need a Bahamas location. I still need a U.S. location that people visit. Santorini we've done. Genoa in Italy. The Italian cruise port is not Genoa. And I'm trying to think about what cruise city is this one anyway. I don't know. We're going to find out soon. Montego Bay in Jamaica. Nope. Another place in Jamaica. Livorno, Italy. Yes, it's Livorno, Italy. Can anyone tell me what major city Livorno is for? It's not Genoa, right? It's not. It's not. Is it off of Venice? Is it the one that's 60 miles from Venice? Livorno. That sounds familiar to me. Ken is thinking Freeport. Yeah, Freeport, Bahamas. You got it. Number 16. And then we've got Kingston, Jamaica from Patty. Nope. I need another location in Jamaica. La Havre. No. Tunisia, Bruce. Paul is thinking Tunisia. Yeah, it's Tunis in Tunisia. Messina, Bahaba, Florence, La Speciale, Florence. Livorno is the Florence stop. Pisa and Florence, Italy. I've been there. Exactly. Thank you for that. I knew someone would know this. I need a place in Croatia. I need a place in the USA, in the state of Florida. What port in Florida do cruise ships visit but not start and end their cruises from? There's a trivia question in itself. Barbados, I need. Jamaica still, and in Greece. I need one in Greece. Ocorios. Yes, that is Jamaica. Ocorios, 680,000. Tampa? Nope. Key West. Yes. You're all getting it now. Key West, that's the one, number 15 there. That leaves me with a Croatian stop and a Barbados stop and a Greek stop. Key West, thank you. I think it's a port for, what is it, something Terra? I don't know, Split, Croatia? No, Dubrovnik in Croatia. It's Dubrovnik, 844,000, number 11 on the list. And we have Motor, and we have Crete, and Key West, and Motor. No, we have Rhodes in Greece, and we have Bridgetown, Barbados. Now, Bridgetown is a bit of a trick question because Bridgetown does have a few cruises a year starting and ending there, which are usually the Iona, the line from Britain, not Iona, but the ship is named the Iona. It's Carnival-owned cruise line, Iona of the Seas and Britannia. P&O, I think P&O starts and ends some cruises in the winter there, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you, everybody, for guessing all of these guesses. Okay, I have one last trivia question for you. It's a doozy. It's a doozy. So before I do that, I'm going to double check our thumbs up button and see how we're doing on that. We now have a total of 28 thumbs ups. Thank you for bringing them in here. And the poll question, I want my next cruise to go to, and the answers now are Mediterranean at 30%, Alaska at 30%, and Caribbean at 30%, and Australia 4%. We actually got an answer in for Australia. So there you go. There's some answers there. Thank you, everybody, for helping out with the thumbs ups today. If you're watching on the rerun, hit the thumbs up button. Here comes your last trivia question of the day, and it's a doozy. Okay, so get ready for this one. Okay, I'm going to be busy with this one here. The question is basically the historical population of U.S. cities. I want to know the 20 most populated cities from 1800, 1820, 1840, 1860, 1880, 1900, 1920, 1940, 1960, and 1980. All you got to do is give me one city. If it's in all of them, I'll tell you. But I need to know the most populated cities in America, starting in as early as 1800. And the first answer from Sylvia is Boston. And the good news is Boston is on all of these. Boston was the number 3 city in 1800. Boston was the, there we go. It was the number 4 city in 1800. It was the number 4 city in 1820. It was the number 5 city in 1840 and in 1860. In 1880, it was the 5th largest city. 1900, it was the 5th largest city. In 1920, Boston fell to number 7. 1940, Boston fell to number 9. 1960, Boston hit 13th place. And in 1980, Boston was the 20th largest city in the United States, going from number 4 all the way down to number 20 through all those years. So that's how this quiz is going to go. Donnell, Philadelphia, number 2 in 1800 and 1820, and number 4 in 1840, number 2 in 1860, number 2 in 1880, number 3 in 1900, number 3 in 1920, number 3 in 1940, number 4 in 1960, and number 4 in 1980, Philadelphia. New Orleans, Bruce, New Orleans. Well, in 1800, New Orleans was not on the top 20. In 1820, however, New Orleans was number 5 with 27,000 people. Number 5. In 1840, they had 102,000 people. They were number 3. In 1860, they were in 6th place at 168,000. In 1880, New Orleans was down to 10th place at 216,000. In 1900, New Orleans fell to 12th place, down to 287,000. They were not coming in as much anymore. 1920, New Orleans was the 17th largest city at 387,000. In 1940, New Orleans was in 15th place with 494,000 people. 1960, back to 15th place, held on to 627,000. And in 1980, New Orleans was off the list. Didn't make it, and they're no longer in the top 20 at that time. Los Angeles, Sylvia is thinking Los Angeles, California. Not in 1800, not in 1820. In 1840, LA was not on the list. In 1860, LA was not on the list. In 1880, LA was not on the list. In 1900, Los Angeles was not on the list. In 1920, LA was the 10th largest city in the United States at 576,000 people. So from 0, not on the list at all in 1900, it made the list in 1920 at number 10. In 1940, LA was the 5th largest city with 1.5 million. In 1960, it was 3rd at 2.4 million. And in 1980, it was still in 3rd place at 2.9 million people at that time. New York City, number 1 across the board. 60,000 people in 1800, 123,000 in 1820, 312,000 in 1840, 1.2 million in 1880, 3.4 million in 1900, 5.6 million in 1920. What a 20-year run that was. 7.4 million in 1940, 7.78 million in 1960, 7.7 million, and 7 million in 1980. Kind of topped out. Ken Koreka, Detroit, Michigan, Bruce. Detroit. Was the population of Detroit anywhere in 1800? No. 1820? No. 1840? No. 1860? No. Yes, 1860, Detroit was 19th. At 45,000 people in 1860. In 1880, Detroit had 116,000 people and good enough for 18th place. In 1900, when cars started to get made, Detroit ran up to 285,000 people with 13th place. In 1920, Detroit was the 4th largest city in the United States, 993,000. It was 4th largest in 1940 because of the war effort, 1.6 million people. In 1960, was still in 5th place at 1.6 million. And in 1980, Detroit was at 1.2 million in 6th place. Even though they lost 400,000 people, they were in 6th place at that time. I'll bet you today in 2025, Detroit isn't in the top 20. I don't think it's in there anymore. Roger has Philadelphia. Donnell got New York. Susan is thinking about San Francisco. Frisco was not on the list in 1800 or in 1820. In 1840, San Francisco was not on the list, but in 1860, San Francisco was the 15th largest city in the United States with 56,802. By 1880, San Francisco was up to number 9 at 233,000. In 1900, it was number 9 at 342,000. In 1920, 506,000, it was in 12th place. In 1940, Frisco got up to 634,000, 12th place. 12th place in 1960 at 740,000. And San Francisco had 678,000 in 1980, 13th place. That's where Frisco is and was. All right, a human being had New York. Ken Correca is thinking Chicago. The city of Chicago, where would it rank? It didn't rank in anywhere in 1800, not in the top 20, but 1820. Chicago didn't make it. 1840, Chicago did not make it into the top 20. 1860, Chicago was number 9 with 112,000 people. In 1880, Chicago had 503,000 to make it the 4th place. 1900, it was number 2 behind New York, 1.29 million. Number 2 in 1920, 2.7 million. Number 2 in 1940, 3.39 million. 1960, number 2, 3.5 million. And 1980, down to 3 million, still number 2 city in America at that time. Chicago. Galveston, Texas, did not make any of the lists in the years that these census were taken. Galveston was not in the top 20, so we can't find Galveston. What about St. Louis, Bruce, on the Mississippi River? St. Louis, we will find it not in 1800. We won't find it in 1820, but 1840, we don't have St. Louis. 1860, we do have St. Louis, 8th place, 160,000 people. St. Louis made the charts. In 1880, St. Louis was in 6th place with 350,000. So they moved up a couple of notches. In 1900, it was in 4th place, 575,000 people, 4th place in 1900. In 1920, down to 6th place, 772,000. Down to 8th place in 1940 at 816,000. 750,000 for 10th place in 1960. And in 1980, St. Louis was off the map. St. Louis was no longer a top 10 city in the United States, having dropped in population. So, yeah, St. Louis didn't make it in 1980. New York from Philip. We have it. St. Louis. We have it. San Antonio, Texas, Bruce. San Antonio. I believe San Antonio entered the fray into the top 20 American cities. In 1960, it became the 17th largest city. And in 1980, San Antonio was in 11th place at 785,000 people. Ken is wondering about Houston, Texas. Houston, Bruce, what about Houston? 1800, no. 1820, no. 1840, Houston, no. 1860, Houston, no. 1880, Houston, no. 1900, no. 1920, Houston did not make it into the list. 1940, nope. 1960, Houston was number 7 at 938,000. So 1940 didn't make it. 1960 it was 9th place, 7th place. 1980, 5th place. 1.59 million in Houston and still growing. Dallas, Texas. Bruce, what about Dallas? The city of Dallas. What was the population? Was it anywhere in the map? From 1800 and 1880, Dallas was not in there. In 1900, no. 1920, no. 1940, no. 1960, Dallas, yes, number 14, 679,000. 1980, 7th place, 904,000, a top 10 city in America for Dallas, Texas. We're looking for the most populated cities in America from 1800 to 1980. LA, we've done. Houston, we've done. Sylvia, Phoenix. Okay, Bruce, give me Phoenix, Arizona. Nothing in the 1800s. 1900, Phoenix, no. 1920, no. 1940, Phoenix, no. 1960, we have air conditioning. Phoenix, no. 1980, yep, number 9 city in 1980, exploding. 789,000 in 1980, top 10 city. We have LA. Cincinnati, Bruce. What about Cincinnati, home of WKRP in Cincinnati? Did it register in 1800? No. 1820? Yeah. Number 14 city in 1820, 9,400 people. 1840, Cincinnati, Ohio was the number 6 city in America, 46,000. 1860 was the 7th largest city, 161,000. 1880 was the 8th largest city, 255,000. Cincinnati was number 10 in 1900 at 325,000. Cincinnati was number 16 in 1920 at 401,000 people. In 1940, Cincinnati had 455,000 for 17th place. 1960, Cincinnati was off the map for the top 20. In 1980, it is not on the map anymore. So Cincinnati lost its place in the top 20. Seattle, Washington. Patty is wondering about Seattle in Washington, the great Northwest. Nothing in 1800, nothing in 1820, nothing in 1840, 1860, nope, 1880, Seattle, no, 1900 for Seattle, no, 1920, yes, the 20th largest city, 315,000 in 1920. 1940, Seattle was not on the list. 1960, Seattle came back 19th place at 557,000. And in 1980, Seattle was not on the list anymore. So it only made it a couple of times. Larry Blake is wondering Baltimore. This is one of those Northeast cities. Baltimore, yeah. In 1800, Baltimore was the 3rd most populated city in America. 26,514 people in 1800. Baltimore, number 3 in 1820, 62,000. Number 2 in 1840, behind New York, 102,000 people in Baltimore. Baltimore made it to number 2. 1860 down to number 4. 1880 down to number 7, 332,000. 1900, Baltimore was number 6 at 508 grand. 1920, Baltimore had 733,000, 8th place. Baltimore was 7th in 1940, 859,000. In 1960, back to 6th place, 939,000 in 1960. In 1980, Baltimore went to number 10, 786,000. Ken Correca, Kansas City in Missouri. Kansas City, Bruce. We're going to Kansas City. How are we doing? Are we in the map anywhere? Are we on the chart anywhere? 1800, 20, 1840, 1860, I'm looking now. Nope. 1880, Kansas. No. 1900, Kansas City. No. 1920, Kansas City. No. Yes. 1920, number 19, 324,000. Number 19 in 1940, 399,000. Kansas City was off the map in 1960, and Kansas City stayed off the map in 1980. So it briefly made the list. Minneapolis, Bruce. Stephen Butler is wondering about Minneapolis. Let's take a look for Minneapolis. 1800, 1820, 1840, no. 1860, no. 1880, no. 1900, yes. 19th place at 202,000 in 1900. 18th place in 1920, 380,000. 16th place in 1940, 492,000. Minneapolis in 1960, not on the list. 1980, not on the list. So only a few decades was it in there. Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. Washington in 1800 did not make the top 20. Washington in 1820 was the number 9 city in America at 13,247 people in 1820. 1840, Washington was number 13 at 23,364. 1860, Washington was number 14 at 61,122. 1880, 147,000 people, 14th place. In 1900, Washington, 15th place at 278,000. 1920, 437,000, number 14. Number 11 in 1940 of 663,000. 1960, number 9, 763,000 people, top 10 city in America. But in 1980, number 15, 638,000 in Washington, slipping again. Buffalo, New York, Bruce. What about Buffalo? 1800, no can do. 1820, no. 1840, no. 1860, Buffalo was the 10th largest city, 81,000 people. In 1880, Buffalo was number 13 at 155,000. 1900, it was the 8th largest city, 352,000. In 1920, it was number 11 at 506. 1940, Buffalo's number 14 at 575. In 1960, it was number 20 at 532. But in 1980, Buffalo was off the top 20. Jacksonville, Florida, Bruce. Jacksonville, Florida. Did it ever make the top 20 cities in the United States? 1800? No. 1820? No. 1840? No. 1860? No. 1880 Jacksonville? No. 1900? No. 1920? No can do. 1940 Jacksonville? No. 1960? No. 1980? Never made the top 20 up until 1980. Atlanta, Bruce. Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia. 1800, no. 1820, Atlanta. Not on the list. 1840, Atlanta, Georgia. No. 1860, no. 1880, no. 1900, Atlanta. No. 1920, no. 1940, Atlanta. Nope. 1960, no. 1980, Atlanta. Didn't make the list. Not in the top 20. Houston, we've done. Pittsburgh, PA, home of the Steelers. Pittsburgh has been on the list. Pittsburgh was a top 20 city as early as 1840, number 17 at 21,000 people in 1840. In 1860, there were 49,000 people, 17th place. In 1880, Pittsburgh had 156,000 to get to number 12. In 1900, became a big-time steel town here, 321,000 people, number 11. 1920, it was a top 10 city, number 9 at 588,000. Number 10 in 1940 during the war years, 671,000. 1960 down to 16th place, 604,000. Started to lose people. And in 1980, Pittsburgh was no longer a top 20 city, the glory days of the steel mills. Sacramento, California, Bruce. I don't think Sacramento ever was a top 20 city. I don't believe Sacramento ever made it. Hello from Brighton, England, certainly didn't make that list. Cincinnati, we've done. Memphis, Tennessee, Bruce. Let's take a look for Memphis. Did Memphis ever make the top 20? I believe it did. I really do. I think Memphis at one time happened to crack the top 20, but it didn't do it in the 1800s. In 1900, Memphis was not there. 1920, 1940, maybe not. No, Memphis never did. I take it all back. It made it finally in 1980, the number 14 city, 646,000. In 1980, it cracked into the top 20. Oklahoma City, Bruce. Can you find Oklahoma City anywhere on this top 20 list? No, Oklahoma City never made it. Doesn't look like it ever made it. Boise, no. Chicago, we've done. Nashville, Tennessee, Bruce. Did Nashville ever make the top 20 in America cities? And I'm looking back here, going backwards actually. Nashville, no, never made the list. Nashville never made the list. Anaheim, no. Trenton, New Jersey. Trenton. Did Trenton ever make the list? New Jersey, Trenton. No, I don't have it. I don't have Trenton ever making the list. No. Oakland, California. Did Oakland ever make the list, Bruce, in the top 20 of the United States ever? Did Oakland ever do it? It does not look like Oakland ever made the top 20. Nope, I don't have Oakland. Hampton, Virginia, Bruce. Hampton, Virginia. Not in 1800. Not in 1820 and not in 1840. So no, doesn't look like Hampton ever made it. Fort Worth, Texas, I don't have that one. Richmond, Virginia, though, I think we got a winner here. Richmond was the number 13 city in 1800 with 5,700 people. Richmond was number 12 in 1820 at 12,000. Richmond was number 20 in 1840 with 20,000. And then it was off the list. Richmond never came back to the list ever again. Williamsburg, PA, Bruce. Williamsburg, Pennsylvania. Williamsburg. I don't find it in the early days, and it doesn't look like Williamsburg ever made it. Cleveland, Ohio. I believe Cleveland had made it at one time. Cleveland, Ohio, in 1880 was number 11 at 160,000 people. Cleveland in 1900 was the number 7 city, 381,000. In 1920, it was the number 5 city at 796,000, and 878,000 in 1940, number 6. Number 8 in 1960, 876,000. And Cleveland was number 18 in 1980, down to 573,000 way back in 1980. Charlotte, I believe that's North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Charlotte. Let's see if Charlotte made any of these early lists. Charlotte, I don't have it in 1800, 1820, 1840, 1860. No. Charlotte, not even into 1980, no. Erie, PA, I don't think so. I don't think Erie made it into the top 20. It does not look like Erie made it. Buffalo we've done, I believe, haven't we not? Yes, we've done Buffalo. Yes, we have. And you've run out of guesses. I've drained you guys out of guesses. Well, in 1980, I need a city out of California, one big city with 875,000 people. I need a city out of Indiana, and there's a hint like you cannot believe. I need a city out of Wisconsin. I need another city out of California, and I need a city out of Ohio. These are cities in 1980 that were pretty large. Raleigh, North Carolina, Bruce. Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh. I don't have Raleigh in anywhere in the top 20 ever. Indianapolis for Indiana, yeah. Number 12 in 1980, Indianapolis. That's the only time it made the list. Indianapolis. Fresno, no. Sacramento, no. Dayton, Ohio, no. Columbus, Ohio, yeah. Columbus made the list in 1980 at 19th place. I need a city in Wisconsin. I need a city in New Jersey. Indianapolis did make number 20 in 1940. I missed that one. I need a city in Kentucky. I could use a city in Kentucky. So there's a couple more hints for you. San Diego, Bruce? Yes. San Diego, number 17 in 1980 at 629,000. 1960 was the 18th largest city, 573,000. San Diego made the list in 1960 and 1980, but not before that. Newark, New Jersey, Bruce. Newark has to be in there. I believe you're right. Newark was the 11th largest city in the United States in 1800 at 6,739 people. Newark was not in the list the next time around in 1820. In 1840, Newark was still off the list, but in 1860, it was there. 71,900 was number 11. Newark was number 15 in 1880 at 136,000. Newark was number 16 in 1900 at 246,000 people. Newark was number 15 in 1920 at 414,000. It was number 18 in 1940 at 429,000. And then it fell off the map. So Newark had some times in the top 20. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Bruce. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yes, we've got one here. Milwaukee made its entry in 1860 at 45,000 people and at 20th place. Then it was number 19 at 115,000 in 1880. Then Milwaukee got up to number 14 in 1900, 285,000. In 1920, it was number 13 largest city at 457,000. 1940 was the 13th largest city at 587,000. 1960, Milwaukee hit number 11, 741,000 people. And in 1980, Milwaukee was number 16 at 636,000 people. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Edison, New Jersey, no. Milwaukee, we got Louisville. Louisville, Kentucky, Bruce. It's got to be on the list. It is. Louisville shows up in 1840 at 21,000 people, number 16. Louisville is now number 12 in 1860 at 68,000. Louisville is number 16 at 123,000 in 1880. Louisville is 18th largest in 1900, 204,000. And then Louisville disappears off the top 20. Sacramento, no. San Jose, California, yay. We've done San Jose. Did we also not do another city here? I have to apologize. I think I may have done San Diego by mistake and San Jose by mistake, but San Diego, by the way, was number 8 in 1980, so it did move up the list. Sylvia, Bakersfield, never did it. Savannah, Georgia, Bruce. Savannah, was it in the top 20 ever? Savannah, yep. 18th largest city with 7,500 people in 1820. Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, that's the only time Savannah made it. There was a city unto itself until about the 1920s. But in 1880, it was the third largest city. In 1860, it was the third largest city. 1840, it was the seventh largest city. And it became part of a very large city eventually. They used to have a Major League Baseball team in this city. St. Augustine, no, I don't think St. Augustine will ever have made the list. The city I'm looking for is the baseball team left this town and went all the way to the west. And Stephen Butler, you got it. It's Brooklyn. Brooklyn, New York was its own city. In 1840 was the seventh largest city in America, 36,000 people. In 1860 was the third largest city at 266,000 compared to 813 in New York. And in 1880, Brooklyn had 566,000, the third largest city in the United States. And after that, it was amalgamated into New York City. I'm looking for a city now, going back to 1900, a city in New Jersey and a city in Rhode Island. If you can tell me those cities, we'll go back a few decades in time. Now, can you also tell me some cities in New York and then cities in Philadelphia that were once city? I'm going to have to help you with a bunch of these, so I'm pretty darn sure. In Rhode Island, does anyone have a clue? Here we go. Providence, Rhode Island. Donnell, yes, sir. Providence was the 20th largest city in 1900 in America, 175,000. It was the 20th largest city in 1880 at 104,000. It was the 16th largest city in 1860 at 50,000. Providence was the 14th largest in 1840. Providence was the 13th largest in 1820 with 11,000. And Providence was the 9th largest city in America in 1800 with 9,000. There were 7,600 people at one time. Providence. Albany, New York. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Albany. The 17th largest city in 1800, 5,200 people. The capital of New York State. Albany was number 11 in 1820 with 12,600. It was number 9 in 1840 with 33,000. It was number 13 with 62,000 in 1860. And then Albany fell off the map. There's one city in Jersey I'm looking for. Providence we got. Trenton, no, it's not Trenton, and it's not Parsippany, New Jersey either. It's another city in New Jersey. And when I say New Jersey, that is your hint right there. New Jersey, city in New Jersey. I'm looking for city in New York, starts with the letter R. Atlantic City never made it. No, the Atlantic City never made the list. No, another city I'm looking for. Let's see if we can find any others here. A suburb of Washington named after a university starts with G, named after a president. Newark, New Jersey, Bruce. Newark, we've done Newark. It's another one I'm looking for. Atlantic City, Jersey City. Yeah, Jersey City. It's not New Jersey City. It's Jersey City. Yes. Jersey City was the 17th largest city in the United States in 1900 with 206,000. And in 1880, it was the 17th largest city. And prior to that, Jersey City didn't exist or didn't make the top 20 in any event. And there you go. Cape May? No. Let me rattle off cities you might not be guessing. We have Charleston at 18,000 people in 1800, the 5th largest city. Charleston was the 6th largest in 1820. Charleston was the 10th largest city in 1840 and then never ranked again. Northern Liberties was a suburb eventually of Philadelphia, sixth largest city in 1800, seventh largest in 1820, eighth largest in 1840. Then it became part of Philadelphia. Philly went from the fourth largest city to the second largest city the next decade because of all the mergers of some of these cities. Southwark was the seventh largest city, became part of Philadelphia. Seventh largest in 1800s, eighth largest in the 1820s. Southwark was the 12th largest in 1840. Then it became part of Philly. Salem, Virginia, Salem. Anybody know what state Salem is from? 9,400 people in 1800, the eighth largest city, 10th largest in 1820, and then Salem fell off the map. Salem, Massachusetts? Maybe Salem, Massachusetts. Norfolk, Virginia was number 10 in 1800 and number 16 in 1820, and then off the map. Newburyport was number 13 in 1800, never to be heard from again. Nantucket was number 14 in 1800 and never to be heard from again after that. Portsmouth was number 15 in 1800, number 20 in 1820, then off the list. Gloucester was number 16 in 1800 and off the list. Schenectady, New York, I think, number 18 in 1800, never heard from again. Marblehead was number 19 in 1800, only one time in the list. New London was number 20 in 1800. In 1820, we're talking about Portland. That's Maine, I believe, only time in the top 20. Alexandria it was 17th in Virginia, I believe, in 1820. Then I think became part of Greater Washington, I'm assuming. Georgetown was the city I'm thinking of, 19th largest in 1820, and then it disappeared. Kensington was number 15, and then in 1840, then it disappeared. Lowell, Massachusetts, number 18 in 1840, and Rochester, New York was number 19 in 1840, number 18 in 1860, and never heard from after that. And all of those are the largest cities of America from 1800 to 1980. It's funny how some cities moved up and some cities phased away. The closing of a lot of factories over the years, the Rust Belt, of course, changes over the decades. The war years lifted cities and dropped cities and so on. Salem, Massachusetts, thank you. Susan, North Carolina says human being. Salem, North Carolina. Sylvia, human being, not Salem, North Carolina. That's Winston-Salem, North Carolina you're thinking of. She ought to know. It's all right. Thank you, everybody, for helping out with the geography today. Craig, these trivias are great. Thank you, Bruce. My pleasure. I hope you enjoy them very much. I want to thank you all for popping in here tonight and answering my poll question tonight, hitting the thumbs up button tonight. 35 thumbs ups. If you like the trivias, hit the thumbs up for me. Answer the poll question. We've got the question today was, I want my next cruise to go to, and the number one answer was Mediterranean at 39%, Alaska 27%, Caribbean 24%, and Australia 9%. There you go. Very good. Thank you all so very much. Stephen, thanks, Bruce. It was fun. Sylvia, trivia's fun. Donnell, I'm still on YouTube Premium. Do you benefit from that? Good trivia question. I do. I do benefit when you're on YouTube Trivia, and I hope you do too. I'm trying to say that. Susan, thanks, Bruce. YouTube Premium gives you music and other commercial-free stuff, and so yeah, anybody on YouTube Premium watching me, you're making me more money than any advertiser does. That's for sure. Human being. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. Lots of fun. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you here next Monday. We'll see what's going on with the cruise news and just what's happening out there. Thank you for joining me tonight. Tell your friends they want to play trivia. We'll have trivia again next week, and we'll go from there. All the best to you for the remainder of this week. Take care of yourselves. Thanks again for the thumbs ups that have come through here and the poll results as well. It's terrific, and if you're on the rerun, I thank you for the thumbs ups because I get notified all week long that thumbs ups are still coming in. tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, the day after that. You guys are great. Sylvia, see you, Bruce. Have a good week. Everyone, take care out there. Jen and I are going to relax now. Well, Jen's already relaxing. What am I saying? Donnell, have a great and safe week, everybody. Thanks, Donnell. You take care of yourself. Get some good shut-eye. And we'll see you all next Monday on this channel. Take care of yourselves. Be well. And we'll talk to you real soon. Human being, Sylvia, thank you too. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.